on my back. Help me, God, to recognize the blessing in that. Help me, God, to recognize the blessing in the stretch marks that birth my beautiful children, God. Help me to recognize that the cellulite that I have on my skin, God, helps to keep me warm at night, God. Oh, God, I don't know about y'all, but I don't know if anybody here has got some flaws that you're willing to admit. You got some flaws that are holding you back. You got some flaws that are keeping you in bondage and shame. I don't know if anybody's willing to admit that. But if you are, type flaws in the comments, because I'm here to admit that sometimes our flaws keep us distracted and keep us in bondage. And God, I don't want to be paralyzed by the fear of who I'm still trying to become and miss my portion of who she is in this moment, God, and miss my portion of who she needs me to be in this moment, and miss my portion of who you need me to be in this moment, God. I have everything that I need, God. God, I have my portion, God. God, my hands are full, God. God, my cup runneth over, God. God, in this present moment, if I just set my eyes on you, and if I just stay focused, God, because you said, oh God, you said that faith comes by hearing. And you said, God, that hearing comes by the reading of the word, God. And so help me, God, to not abandon my faith because my focus is in the wrong place. God, help me to say it better. Help me to say it better, God. God, if faith is the only way to please you, God, God, I gotta make sure I say this right, so I'm gonna go to my notes. If faith is the only way to please you, God, and you say what I focus on, what we focus on has our faith. In Corinthians 7:35, God, you said what we focus on has our faith. You said that, God. And so you said, whether you come today, whether you come next week, whether you come next year, in 100 years, in 200 years, that what has our focus has our faith. And so if we are focused on these distractions, if we're focused on what's in the sky versus what's above it, I don't know if y'all hear me, but you said that we could either spend the rest of our life worrying and wasting away or trusting. And that even though you've given us our portion, we have to practice how to handle our portion, how to use our portion, how to disperse our portion. God, this is a season where you are prophetically causing us and calling us. Oh God, I heard you. I heard you, God. You didn't just say you were calling us, God. You said you are causing us in this season to use our faith muscle. Because for so long we've just made it about lip service, God. For so long we've read our word, God, but haven't been transformed by the word, God. And you said that you are causing us in this season to grow our faith muscle so that we can practice for the big game. And that where we spend our time, God, is where we spend our portion. And so if that portion is for me, God, to be who I need to be in this season, redirect my focus. God, I'm hearing you say faith is our gift to you. I'm hearing you say faith is our gift to you. Because, God, you said that if we are positioned for faith, God, if we are positioned for faith, that in being positioned for faith, God, that we would be positioned to receive that faith, God. And I'm going to read to you. I'm going to put some word to this. If y'all don't believe me, I'm going to put some word to this so you know exactly what I'm saying. And this is in Hebrews 11. And you can read it for yourself. If you haven't read it, if you're not familiar with it, you can read it for yourself. This is in Hebrews 11. This is in Hebrews 11. And so I want to get close up on this word for you. Hebrews 11. It says, now faith is the confidence in what we hope for. And it is the assurance about what we do not see. This is what the ancients were commanded for. By faith, we understand that the universe was formed at God's command, so that what is seen was not made out of what is visible. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? What is seen, what we are seeing is not made out of what is visible, what God made visible. So what we're seeing is not what we're seeing. We need to keep our spiritual eyeglasses on. By faith, Abel brought God a better offering than Cain did. By faith, he was commended as righteous when God spoke well of his offerings. And by faith, Abel still speaks, even though he is dead. By faith, Enoch was taken. Say it with me. By faith, by faith, by faith, by faith, by faith, by faith, by faith. So that he had not experienced death. He could not be found because God had taken him away. And before he was taken, he was commended as one who pleased God. And without faith, it is impossible to please God. It says before he was taken, he was commended, y'all, as one who pleased God. And I don't know about you, but I'm hearing God say that you're searching for all of these ways to please God. You're online and you're searching for all of this information and all of these different ways to please God. But God is saying that you can please me by faith. You can please me by having your focus in the right place. By is a preposition that is used before a noun to show direction. And so I'm just going to get a little technical with y'all right now. It shows direction, time, place, occasion, relationship, or to introduce an object. Relationship, Sarah, Abraham. So by faith, oh, Jesus, I got it. Oh, God. It says, before he was commended and he was taken away, he pleased God. And without faith, it is impossible to please God. It says, by faith, Enoch was taken from this life. We didn't see, do you ever notice how we didn't see Enoch going through these crazy struggles? By faith, Abraham, when called to go to a place he would later receive his inheritance. By faith, Sarah had faith. By faith. So God, what I'm hearing you say is that faith is a part of the equation, but it is by faith that we receive our portion. By faith, Abel received his portion. By faith, Sarah received her portion. By faith, Enoch received his portion. Faith is our gift to God, because notice how every time they received, faith was the requirement. Faith was put in the equation because it was by faith that it was part of the equation. God didn't say by fear. God didn't say by distraction. God didn't say by worry. God didn't say by anxiety. God didn't say by toiling. God didn't say by you having your hand in it and you trying to help God out and do what you think God needs you to do. God said by faith. And if you read Luke 10:38, God talks further about prioritizing our time with him. That Mary was positioned at Jesus' feet. And Martha was upset. She's like, God, here I am preparing this. Jesus, I'm preparing this meal. I'm preparing all of this for you, and I need help. And what Mary doing? She's sitting at your feet. And so I don't know about you, but I'm hearing God say, how are you positioned right now? How are you positioned? Are you running around like a chicken with your head cut off? Are you spending 9, 10, 12 hours online looking at all of the lights in the sky? And are you positioned to receive from Jesus like Mary was at his feet? And I don't know about y'all, but the closest that I can see myself at Jesus' feet right now, at God's feet right now, is in prayer, in my word. Because God didn't say by stress or anxiety or by worry. And so, God, I just ask that you would help us to be repentant. Because I don't know about you, but I just feel like we're going through a time in our society and in our life. As a prophet of God, let all those who have an ear to hear this word. Because I'm about to give y'all a word. Thank you, hubby, for my Celsius. Woo. We are going through a time in our life, a time and a season of our lives, where for some reason people can't be corrected. And I don't just mean correcting people by calling them out. Social media has shown us the wrong way to correct people. It has shown us the wrong way to hold people accountable. But correcting people because you are in communion with them, you are in community with them, and when I don't know about y'all, but my community, if I drive into my community, oh God, my community, the people in my community are in vicinity to me. They're in vicinity to me. That means my neighbor, I can walk across my yard to my neighbor's house. That means if I walk down the block, there's another neighbor, another neighbor, another neighbor. They're in vicinity to my community. My community has a name, and everybody in this community is in vicinity to me. But if I go over to the next community, it has another name. And oh God, this is God, because I didn't even have this planned in my notes. It is in vicinity to them. And so for so often and for so long, quite frankly, we have been focused on things that are out of our reach. But what is within our reach is our relationship with God. Oh, God, help me with this. What is within our reach is our vicinity. What is within our reach is our community. Have you checked on your neighbors lately? Are your neighbors okay? Is your community okay? If something goes down, are y'all in it together? If you need something, can you go borrow some flour like the old school, like my mama and them used to do? My mama and them used to be able to borrow sugar from each other. They used to be able to borrow a cup of flour from each other. My mama and them used to be able to borrow buckets of water from each other if something went down and the electricity was off, run extension cords from house to house. Oh, y'all don't hear me though. Y'all don't hear me because we've gotten so entitled in this culture. We've gotten so entitled.